It's time now for your daily news update. Here's newsman Dennis Daly with more of what you need to know.
Hi, and thanks again, everybody. When I was growing up, one of my favorite TV shows was Highway Patrol with Broderick Crawford. The beginning of that show was dramatic, and it was voiced by an announcer named Art Gilmore, who used to do almost all the movie previews. Well, now Art Gilmore has died. He was 96. I talked to his good friend Jimmy Weldon about the fact that Art was a man who always seemed to have a lot of dignity about him.
Oh, he was. He was a tremendous guy. I'll never forget years and years ago, back in the early 60s, I used to fly a little airplane, 120 Cessna, and I'd be going along and I'd hear him say, "The world tomorrow with Herbert W. Armstrong." And I thought, someday I want to meet this guy. And then, sure enough, years and years later, came back to Hollywood, and he and I and Grace, his wife, used to sit in the church, Presbyterian church on the hill, and we called each other, we're pew mates. What a tremendous guy he was, yeah.
Jimmy, I remember meeting him at a party about 15 years ago, and we were talking about the fact radio had been around for a long time. He told me how old he was. I said, "You can't be that old." He said, "Can't be that old. I was the announcer for Amos and Andy."
Golly. Now, you know the story about when he told me, he said, "Jimmy, a lot of people know you because with Little Yankee Doodle, you're still on the air, but a lot of us old guys, we're not anymore." And he said, one day a young producer said to me, "Mr. Gilmore, I know you've done a lot in show business, but I'm not familiar with your work. Can you tell me some of the things you've done?" He said, "Well, for instance, I was Skelton's announcer 17 years on television." He said, "Jimmy," he said to me, "who's Skelton?" He didn't even know it was Red Skelton. Isn't that amazing?
And Jimmy, I guess the sad thing is realizing just how long ago some of those shows were on. I mentioned Highway Patrol. Here in closing, and by the way, I made a mistake. Art Gilmore was 98, not 96. Here in closing, that fantastic, memorable narration from the Broderick Crawford series Highway Patrol with Art Gilmore.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state law.
With Jimmy Weldon on the phone from Burbank, a special tribute to one of the greatest announcers of all time, Art Gilmore. I never got to know Art Gilmore very well, but I treasure the fact I did cross paths with him several times, and he was a gentleman. I'm Dennis Daly with your Daily News Update.